Welcome, YouTube world. Before we get into today's discussion, I want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. But if you didn't like the video, go ahead, give it a thumbs down. And I'll make sure the next time you play the game and I'm in your crosshairs, and you go and you think you got one up on me, and you go to pull that trigger, I'm just saying. Now, hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to rant on the PP19 Bizon as to what stands out the most to me out of any other type of weapon in the game, whether it's another SMG, an LMG, a marksman, an assault rifle, a shotgun, doesn't matter. I want to share with you quickly a noob's perspective, a guy who's not good at the game, who doesn't perform well, especially when he's recording. What stood out the most to me and why I'm really enjoying this weapon, why I think at least you should give it a try. Even if you're a pro, you're a guy getting 50, 60, 70 kills a match. You're not a guy like me, you know, toggling between 10 and 25 kills a match and dying a dozen times. Let's get right into it. We're almost a minute into the video. So the first thing that stands out to me automatically is at level 2. Let's go in order. At level 2 with this weapon, you get the monocle reflex sight. Now, again, I'm not good at the game, I'm not an expert, I don't know the intricacies and all the technical details of all the things like some other people like GetsNick and Shroud know, okay? But I still have observed some things about the game, even though I suck at it, and doesn't mean I don't understand certain aspects of the game. What I really like about the monocle reflex is the fact that when you aim down, I have terrible OCD, you can still see the barrel of your gun. I know that's really weird, but normally on a weapon and when you're using a reflex sight, you see the circle with the dot. You don't still see like your barrel kind of like underneath. You don't still see your weapon. I like that. There's no reason for it other than it's just a visual thing that I enjoy, and I find it to be the least intrusive optic in the game. Isn't it also funny that normally that optic is what you get way, way, way down in the levels? If I'm not mistaken, is it the AK-47? It's like the last optic you unlock in like the 60s and 70s. On the M4A1, I didn't get that optic until, what, the 60s or something like that? Late 50s, early 60s? Like, you get the idea? It's way in there. So no matter what class of weapon I'm using, this monocle reflex sight is always the one that I personally always want to go to, that I find the least intrusive, I could still see my weapon, and that I just find I perform well with. So the fact that you get this at level 2, to me, is like, oh my god. That's for the attachment's sake. So that's huge for me. That's what really stood out to me. I was blown away. The laser. At level 7, you get your first laser, and bam, you're just given the tac laser right up front, just like that. Look at those 3 pros and that 1 con, and that's only when you aim down the sights. It's not like it's always on if you're just running around with your gun at your hip or whatever. So to me, that's amazing. I don't know what the other 2 lasers are, but I just know that, bam, starting off with this, and not the 1 milliwatt laser, is absolutely phenomenal. And again, you normally don't get this until the 20s or 30s roughly. Correct me if I'm wrong on that again. This is usually not something you get this early in the game. And I suck at the game, and it takes me a while to level up, and I'm already at level 11, and I did that in just one night. So those by far are like the 2 #1 things that stood out to me on the outside in terms of attachments. Now let's talk about the performance from a noob. That's right, a guy who knows very little about the game. Or I shouldn't say I know very little about the game. I don't perform well in the game, but that doesn't mean I don't understand some of the little things about it. Just how it performs. I don't have a stock yet. I don't have a grip. There's no underbarrel. I haven't used the muzzle yet. Okay? It just performs well. I find that I can get people, considering the weapon is fairly naked, right? Some weapons, like for example the M4A1, the MP7, the MP5, those very popular weapons, I found that I didn't perform nearly as well as until I got them evolved, until I got them upgraded with all those attachments. This weapon, right off the hop, I was doing well with. Now, the first level I struggled with a little bit because the iron sight I don't do too well with. I do okay on the AK-47 for some strange reason, and the MP5 with the iron sight with no optic I do well on. But on this one, it was rough a little bit just to get that first level in. Once I hit level 2 and I threw on that monocle, it was like a monocle cobra. It was just whoosh, I was biting people. You see what I did there? Get it? Monocle, monocle cobra. Anyways, I was trying to be funny. So it just performs well. That's it. Like, it's got a good rate of fire. Well, you can see the stats at the bottom. Like, it's not the best, obviously. What's the best, right? That's subjective. But I just found that when I unleash and I shoot people, my gun's not going all over the place like the AK-47. But I find with the AK-47, even though it's a little bit wild, by the time I get a couple of shots in and it starts to recoil all over the place, my target's dead anyways. But I perform better with this weapon. Now, I still do better with the M4A1. I still do better with the MP5, kinda. But that's only because I've got it leveled up a little bit and I got a bunch of attachments. Again, this is like fresh out of the box, if you will, with like no real attachments whatsoever that aid in the stabilization of your weapon. This thing, I could just go on and it's already been like 6 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is one of two things. I'm either going to end the video now, or I'm going to add a little bit of gameplay. I might do a little bit of gameplay, but yeah, anyhow, I don't know if I should, honestly. No, actually, I think I am going to end it here. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I am going to end it here, and that's why I'm going to title the video Discussing the PP19, and I'm going to put in brackets no gameplay, so that people don't get, you know, clickbaity into thinking, oh, you're talking about the weapon, you're not even showcasing any gameplay. Because like I said, my gameplay is irrelevant. I'm not that good at the game. I am, in another video, going to showcase a bit of gameplay.